This study is a bit of a shocker. When you think of college, what do y'all think of? You probably think of studying. You think of hanging out with friends. You probably even think about a little bit of partying. Well, a new study from the National Institutes of Health suggests going to school longer might cut your risk of becoming an alcoholic or alcohol dependent in life in half. So in this study, they looked at 780,000 people. They found that those who attended an additional 3.6 years of school, 50% less likely to become alcohol dependent. And when we looked at this, we thought this is crazy because you have this image of kids in college just partying, getting, quite frankly, wasted. But when you dig a little deeper, it may make some sense because this is looking at alcohol dependence later in life. Yes.
So you think maybe it's that you get to college and you don't have anybody looking over your shoulder, so you're like, oh, I'm gonna try this new thing, and you drink a lot of alcohol, and then you say, tried it, did it, and then you kind of grow out of it.
That could be part of it.
Well,
maybe part of it is getting it out of your system. Maybe the other part is that
it becomes part of your routine. And I've seen it work both ways, that certain people started drinking in college and it sort of continued through the rest of their life. But I guess, that's a big number, 780,000. That's a pretty big sampling. I think what applies here is that added education, you finish, you get a job, you work, you're more grounded, you're more rooted, and you sort of don't have time to.
You don't have time to be an alcoholic?
Yes, you don't.
I got stuff to do. I don't have time to get drunk.
I'm not hanging my hat on this particular study because they were also looking at genetic data associated with education, and this to me is not as clear cut as it may seem at first brush. I think there are elements of it where in the study they said, look, college educated more likely to drink wine rather than spirits later in life. Is that true? Maybe not. But I think the reason to get an education is if that's the path you want to take, great. Even though the study's author said, well, maybe education is now the way we prevent alcoholism, I have a problem with that because I've seen too many, quite frankly, students struggling with alcohol addiction. I think saying, hey, go off to school here where there's a kegger and we're going to send you there because we think you'll become less likely to be an alcoholic.
They're going to be next to that keg and not in the library where they should be. But at the same time, it's a learning experience going to college. We learn so many things about socializing, things like that. Drinking is part of it. And we all
I learned how to chug a beer in college. I don't know if that helped me later in life. We all drank too much in college, and we all got sick in college, and maybe we learned our lesson.
Yeah.
That may be true. But what I do love is one of the challenges in medicine and health is with addiction, so much of the time we're guessing. So the more studies like this, the better. And these are two examples. Well, look, if education can decrease your risk of becoming an alcoholic, maybe there are ways to have educational programs that may not even be college that we can institute in high school to address this, and it's just it's an interesting time that we're trying to at least be a little more proactive
and see what else we can do.
And with both of these issues, it's if you have a problem, identify it. Don't be embarrassed. Don't ignore it. Seek help.
And we'll have a list of resources on our website.